Thank you for joining me, I appreciate it. Motivation for this was really looking at the waste within developing and pressing and delivering armrests in the wood shop. We've identified the opportunity. We're going to measure, analyse and define the problem, and then we're going to actually look at a proposal for a theoretical manufacturing layout that addresses all of the issues we've identified within the measurement. Firstly, the layout is based on quite a separation between the delivery point of the material to the actual point of fit. It's 30 metres away from point of fit. So in terms of the operator has to travel from point of fit to the pickup location or to the racking, depending on how the material is delivered, and move the material from there to the point of fit. So that's a considerable amount of time wasted. The distance overall is about 30 metres, so that's repeated several times a day. And also the associate moves away from the workstation, which is a concern. So in terms of movement and actually the skills and the tin wood, the associate moving away from the workstation is not effective. Also, because of the material drop-off areas outside of the wood shop, there's no visual control. So in terms of traceability, seeing what's happening with the material, has the material been dropped off, is it available, or has it been consumed, do we need to order more material? That's not clear because of the layout. It also has this interim stage of having the racking, so the material is loading onto the racking, so it's also double handling. So the material is loaded onto the racking, the associate they take from the racking to the point of fit. More handling, more potential to lose material, more material in process as well. So there's a stock holding there, there's a stock holding potentially outside, and there's a stock holding potentially at point of fit. We did some detailed measurements. So we looked at the movement of the associate with a spaghetti diagram, moving from outside into the inside. We also looked at the associate in the pressing area in terms of pressing material, taking material from the rack to the actual point of fit. We measured those, we did some analysis in terms of what the distances were, what the ergonomic impacts were in terms of twisting, moving, actions, steps, in terms of safety, because it's travelling through the workshop, potential of trips, slips and falls. So again, we did an ergonomic assessment to evaluate that. We also did a work study in terms of time and motion, and understanding the steps and the time for each operation within that process. We did some value stream mapping, looking at the process and the steps and the time and the non-value added operations. And again, we considered tin wood in terms of movement, waste. We also considered, obviously, the skills of the operator moving material around rather than actually being productive. We also considered things like OEE, so the machine, all the time the operator's away from the machine moving material, the machine isn't operating. So that was quite critical. This affected utilisation, obviously, of the operative. He's moving material not being utilised on value-added operations. During the analysis of the process, we looked at operating in terms of improvements. So we looked at a refined layout. So we considered Yamazuni charts, took some benchmarking from other processes, and considered activities in terms of how we could control improvements. We came up with a revised layout which considered, obviously, operational movement between the delivery point. So we've effectively moved the delivery point to point of fit. In terms of space saving, we've reduced effectively the whole racking area has been removed. And the delivery area has been removed as well. So referring back to the original measurements, some measurements were the fact that the guy was actually travelling 213 metres per cycle. 213 minutes per cycle, 356 metres per cycle as well, 60 minutes waiting time, ergonomic movements 500, and the area taken up by the total process was 1,200 metres. So that's the total area consumed. The new layout considered simplification of the layout, time saving, transparency in as much as the Kanban is effectively at the point of fit, so it's clear what the material has been consumed, where it's been taken from, removal of the racking, removal of the original drop-off points, and significantly improved ergonomics. Output from that obviously is savings in terms of measurements. We also considered the control of these measurements in the proposed layout. So the measurements obviously were significantly improved. Can't quite see the overlays there, but from 213 minutes per cycle down to 90 minutes a cycle. Travel distance is down from 356 metres a cycle down to 48 metres. Waiting time is similar because it's actually within process. Ergonomic movement's gone down from 500 to 150, quite a significant saving, and area of the process is reduced from 1,200 metres down to 1,050 metres, so again a significant saving. Also safety in terms of improvements, much safer layout, moving around the workshop, considerably safer. On top of that, I think we've addressed all of the concerns in the first instance in terms of point of fit. The material is now at point of fit. Distance travel has been completely reduced. The associate stays at the workstation, and the visual control is there because of the Kanban 2-box location. There's also some additional savings in terms of safety and financial savings. Basically, per annum, just for one press would be, and for one tool, would be £15,000 a year. Based on all of the tools for a day, which is 10 tools a day, it'd be £150,000 a year. And based on 4 presses, which there are in the area, it could be up to £160,000 a day. So quite significant savings. And that really is a summary of the savings we've made. I think you would agree. We'd be keen to move forward on this project because it shows significant savings, significant impact in terms of the operational problems we've identified and the way we've addressed them.
Thank you very much. I've got a couple of questions before you finish.
Of course.
You mentioned that there were significant improvements in ergonomic areas.
Yes.
Can you just give me a bit more information on that?
Basically, we did an ergonomic study to look at the movements of the operator going from the drop-off point into the racking and then round into the operational, basically 500 aspects in terms of twists, turns, lifts and movements.
So were the operators previously expressing concerns about discomfort or posture?
There was a fair amount, and the cycle time within our area isn't particularly high, but there was certainly issues in terms of risk to associates. I think in terms of our diversity, inclusiveness, we've got an ageing population and a diverse population in terms of people. We need to make sure we address that and future-proof that.
Very good. And my second question is just whether there, so there's short-term effect of this, of all of these benefits which are very clear. Are there any long-term impacts that you think might occur, either positively or negatively?
I think there would be some impact in terms of investment in potentially the Kanban delivery. So you might have to go from batch boxes into boxes with buffers or boxes with separation in them. So that might be a consideration. That would be a cost. There would be costs in terms of moving the tractor location from outside to inside, and possibly automatic doors and things like that would be an implication. But in terms of space saving, the potential to improve and increase the area, and potentially scale up the area, there would be a great opportunity there.
Right, that's all very clear. Thank you very much. That's
Thank you.
very, very clear on the benefits there. Thank you.